Welcome back to Accessible Gourmet. Today we're making Asian pork burgers. Let's start with the dressing for our slaw. In a small bowl, mix a half a cup of mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sriracha. Oh, I almost forgot, we also need a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. Mix this all together until everything is well incorporated and set this aside until we're ready to use it. Next, we're going to take a half of a head of cabbage and finely cut this into a thin shred. We need enough to yield 4 cups. We also need 4 scallions. I just cut these in half and julienne them as well as I could. Scallions are slippery, so just be careful when you get to this step. If anyone has a better solution for how to julienne scallions, please comment below because it's something I really would like to know. And thank you in advance. We're going to add our cabbage and our scallions to a large bowl. Season with some kosher salt. Give it a little mix so the salt gets well incorporated into everything. This will also help wilt the cabbage as well. And then we're going to add almost all of our dressing. We want to reserve a little bit to put on our hamburger buns. But give this a good mix. Make sure everything is coated, and then we're going to set this aside. Next up, we're going to take a half a cup of cilantro and give it a rough chop. If you're one of those people that have that cilantro gene that make it taste like soap, you could leave this out and substitute it with parsley, but I just think the cilantro adds a freshness and herbaceousness to our burgers. We're now going to add our chopped up cilantro into a pound of ground pork. And to this, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, a half a teaspoon of fish sauce, a half a teaspoon of ponzu, 1 teaspoon of sriracha. You can leave this out if you don't like spice. You could leave it out of the mayo as well. Then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, if I can get it out of the dish, and a half of a teaspoon of white pepper. And we're just going to give this a good mix until everything is incorporated. We don't want to overwork the mixture because we don't want this to become tough. Now we're going to form these into patties. You could definitely make sliders, those would be fun for kids, but since I'm making this for dinner, I'm doing the full-size patties, and I got 3 hamburgers out of this 1 pound of ground pork, and just shape them and make sure everything is even so everything cooks evenly. Pardon my OCD, I'm just trying to make these all, that one is definitely bigger, but it's okay. Now moving on to our rolls. I am using potato rolls here. I wish I could have found Hawaiian rolls because they bring a sweetness, but potato rolls also bring sweetness. So we're going to butter the cut sides of each of these rolls, tops and bottoms, because we're going to toast these on the stove. So in a dry skillet over medium heat, we're going to place these cut and buttered sides down And let these toast for about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on your buns. Just check them, make sure they don't burn. The butter is going to smoke, don't be alarmed. That is what stove fans are for. Something I actually don't have. But yeah, once those are nice and toasted, we're going to use the same skillet and put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then put in our pork patties. These are probably going to cook about 6 to 8 minutes on each side. Basically, we want the internal temperature to reach 160 degrees, and that way we're not serving anyone a raw pork burger. Now on to assembly. So we're going to take some of our reserve dressing and spread some over the top part of our bun. We're going to place a pork patty on each of our bottom burger buns, say that 5 times fast. We're going to top this with our spicy slaw. Add as much or as little as you want. This is really delicious, so I also serve this on the side, as well as on top of the burger. And then to finish it off, we're going to place a couple of pickle slices on top, using bread and butter, but if you prefer dill, you can choose those. And there it is, my Asian pork burgers. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, click the like button. If you loved it, subscribe and click the notification bell because I put out new videos every week. Until next time, happy cooking.